Hey, good morning. Good morning. So let's talk about how to live a rich and abundant life. If you want to hear something about that, pay attention, listen up, grab your coffee. Maybe grab your raincoat, get your coffee, head out into your car. It's a bit rainy out here. And it made me think, let me turn this down. As I'm sitting out here, the house is still napping. We got a napping house. So I'm coming in here to do the daily dose in my office, away from my office. You guys know this is my second office and it's rainy. You can probably hear it from the roof. It's a bit loud too, and it's not even very strong rain. So I'm actually grateful I don't have to speak above the rain. But when the rain was out this morning, and in Florida, it's, April showers brings May flowers. And I was thinking about the rich and abundant life of nature, the rich and abundant life of what we see. When flowers blooming, you see the grass is starting to grow, and there's life coming out, like this kind of spring and summer life that's coming from this rain. Well, what happens to the rain? The rain actually falls into the land. It falls on the soil, right, and produces this richness on a nature side, right? I'm not the expert of that, so we're not going to get too deep into the reasoning, but I have a story to share with you of just about the rich and abundant life. And now I'm not talking about riches. I'm not talking about wealth as in monetary wealth. I'm just talking about a rich and abundant life. And I'd love to know, before we even get into it, you feel like you're living a rich and abundant life. And I know for me, I feel that way just from having my connection with the Lord, my faith. And it's something that, again, not to say that I have people that are listening here that may not understand quite what that means. And that's okay. I didn't for a good amount of my life. In fact, for about 10 years, prior to 10 years ago, I didn't really understand how rich and abundant my life could be until I kind of came across this guy named Jesus and got introduced to him really in this personal relationship way, but truly a rich and abundant life. And what I also learned is there's these awesome passages, awesome things in the Bible. Now, if you believe what's in the Bible to be true, then you're going to want to listen up. This is truly, especially if maybe you've been struggling, maybe you're on the struggle bus. Maybe there's been a lot of things going on in your life that you feel like you have no control over. Maybe you feel lost or out of touch with God, so to speak. And I want to encourage you on this rainy Sunday morning. It made me think of it's not the day for necessarily adventure unless you like to jump in the puddles. And I do that sometimes as well. But this is a day I kind of feel like I want to just grab a book and just kind of get just quiet and enjoy some time, maybe with my wife and my kids. I don't know, we're probably not going to go anywhere. We'll probably stay inside. It's rainy, make some breakfast. And there's a book I'm reading. It's actually a great book. It's called Becoming a King, and it's by Morgan Snyder, and I'm actually almost done with it. And one of the sections in here talked about just this abundant life and becoming a king. And it's more of a book for men and just honestly masculinity, which I feel like is a lost art in this world. And I am a man, so I read this book. It's a great book for men. And actually, I know women may choose to read that as well. But it's the path to restoring the heart of a man. And in this, it made me think about living this rich and abundant life. And you might think like I'm just giving you my highlight reel. It's not like it isn't. It's just easy peasy. My life is just easy. Things have been hard. Things are challenging on a daily basis, right? I struggle with my opinions. I struggle with anger. I struggle with frustration. I struggle with business. I struggle in relationships. I struggle in parenting. There's a struggle. But I want to say, as far as the abundant life and living a rich and abundant life, it really came back to this part I read in this book. And it's actually, I'm going to share this with you again. It's called Becoming a King. And it was a section, and I'm actually going to read it through the book. It's in the Bible, but it's in Matthew 13, 3-9. And he goes into a chapter talking about becoming good soil, right? Becoming good soil. What we need water, we need rain to come down into the land and fertile and produce and give water like our bodies. One of the big parts of my nutrition and the nutrition aspect of how I help people is in understanding the importance of water. And we're made up of water. We need that in our bodies to live, just as the plants need water down in the soil to produce those good crops, to produce the flowers, all those types of things. So water is very, very essential. But it helps to have good soil. And I want to share about this. Becoming good soil is truly the key to living a rich and abundant life, right? So pay attention here. I'm going to read this. You can pull out your Bible if you want. You can pause this and go grab your Bible, or maybe pull it up on your phone if you're able to do that. So I'm going to read Matthew 13, 3-9. And this is where Jesus shared to his apprentices about this is a parable. It was a parable of the sower, the farmer. Listen, a farmer went out to plant some seeds. As he scattered them across his field, some seeds fell on a footpath, and the birds came and ate them. Other seeds fell on a shallow soil with underlying rock. The seeds sprouted quickly because the soil was shallow, but the plants soon wilted under the hot sun. And then since they didn't have deep roots, they died. Other seeds fell among thorns that grew up and choked out the tender plants. Still other seeds fell on fertile soil. Listen up to this, fertile soil, and they produced a crop that was 30, 60, and even 100 times as much as had been planted. Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. And that's Matthew 13, 3-9. I believe that's in this book. It's in the New Life True. NLT, the NLT versions. I sometimes read the ESV. That's just the version in this book, right? But you probably, if you're a man or woman of faith, you probably have heard that. Maybe you heard it in church before. You heard about the soil, and there's like the 4 different types. And here's the thing, is although we want fertile soil for have a rich and abundant life, right? For whatever that means for you, to have a rich and abundant relationship with your spouse, a rich and abundant relationship with your family and your children, and maybe your friendships, a rich and abundant life when it comes to your finances and maybe your path in your profession, right? There's this richness and abundance. And the thing is, and this is what was great in this book, in this passage too that he shared, was talking about how we have all of those. Like we have all 4 of those conditions that exist in each one of us, right? In varying degrees, right? We have the seeds that maybe fall on the footpaths and the birds eat them. Like the seeds are out, but then they're eaten by the birds and there's no fruit, right? There's no crops, so to speak, that result from that. And then there's some that are quickly and they go in shallow, but they get wilted under the sun and they die, right? And then there's other seeds that have thorns in them. You maybe know some thorns in your life. And they get choked out, right? The tender plants get choked out. And then there's fertile soil. And they produce a crop that's 30, 60. So why am I sharing this with you? Am I promoting this book? No, honestly, it's actually a fantastic book for men. Even I know maybe my wife probably won't read this one, but it passed to Restoring Heart of a Man. So I know women, you have your own books as well. This one's a great one for men. It's forwarded by John Eldredge. You probably heard of him before. Fantastic book. So how to live a rich and abundant life. It comes to the soil. It comes to how are you fertilizing your soil? Is it rich and abundant in the soil, the foundation? Think of the foundation of your home. And think of the most important part of your home. Is it all of the finishings? Is it all of the furnishings? Is it the way you do your bathroom over? No, it's what it's sitting on, the foundation. Truly the most important thing is the foundation. In fact, here, which is kind of crazy in this neighborhood, is because we're in a beach community and it's getting sparse, this area, as far as areas to live, and it's getting expensive and everybody's moving to Florida, is that the value is in the property, the land. And guess what? That's where the soil is. The value is down there. So do you want how to live a rich and abundant life? And I share that. Am I an expert at this? No, I'm learning it as I go, but I'm realizing it's the soil, the things. Now you can think about your soil. What's your soil like? Is it getting choked out? Like, is it kind of superficial? Or is it something where you're feeling, like if you're not feeling you're living a rich and abundant life, maybe it's because of the soil. Maybe it's the soil that you're on. Maybe it's the soil that you're surrounding yourself with, other people. Maybe it's the things that you're focused on, the things that maybe you can't control, maybe on the opinions of others. It is interesting because while I feel to some extent I'm really careful about the opinions of others when it comes to my profession, when it comes to my personal preferences and things in life and that, I honestly don't really care. And that's actually really, really served me well. It's been able to preserve my soul in a sense that The only one that it really matters to besides my family is the one who created me. And I was thinking, if I can fertilize that soil, if I can protect that soil and make sure the seeds that are being planted in my life and in my health, that they're going to produce 30, 60, 100-fold crop, not just to me, to the people that are around me, my students, my coaching students, my family, my wife. Next to God, I try to keep the Lord centered at everything in my life. Does it happen all the time? No. In fact, I feel like sometimes the seed gets wilted. Sometimes the seed gets eaten by the birds, right? I feel sometimes it gets choked out. I believe all those things happen to some extent. And I can focus on those things, and guess what? More of that will happen. Or I can focus on the things that are really, truly producing a rich and abundant life. Today is Sunday. A number of people will do church. They'll do it, a number of different ways. They'll watch online. For us, we'll be watching online. They'll go to church. Maybe they'll do church in their home. There'll be a number of ways. Maybe they will just be meeting with friends and going through some Bible study. It really depends on the certain circumstances and situations. But for us, we're going to be spending it together watching online. And I'll tell you, why is that something we do on Sundays? Is it because you're supposed to do church for a good Christian to go out church on Sunday? No, it's because of the value, the richness of the soil that it produces on a week-to-week basis. When my option is to come on here and maybe spew about what I believe people should think about and how they should do this and how they should live their life and whether they should wear a mask or not, or if they should be vaccinated or not, or all that. Honestly, it doesn't matter to me for you. I know what I'm going to do for me and what my family is going to do. It doesn't really matter. In fact, I don't expect to ever change your opinion by sharing that on here. But I will say where I'm an expert in when it comes to, you're like, Mark, but you're the coach. You talk about weight loss and fitness and all that. Yes, I do. It's because I want you to realize that you can become the healthiest, the fittest, the most energetic, the most confident person you want to be, not what I want to be, not if I want you to be this. If you want to be this, you have it in your ability. And sometimes it takes getting some new seeds. Sometimes it takes learning how to fertilize your soil for your health, learning that there are some things that maybe you can't focus on. Maybe you can't focus on certain things, but you can focus on you. You can focus on your health. You can focus on the things that can actually produce a rich and full soil when it comes to your personal health, right? And that's where I get encouraged and inspired. But truly, how to live a rich and abundant life. And if you come on here and you thought it was going to be about making more money, don't get me wrong. Do I want everybody to be as financially successful as they possibly can? Absolutely. There is nothing better than having financial freedom. And for way too many years, I felt that I've been really in shackles, so to speak, in handcuffs, because I didn't know what that looked like. I have a vision and I have clarity on what that looks like for my life. Is that why I have a rich and abundant life? Nope. It doesn't. It's more because of the rich and abundance of the soil that I'm fertilizing and that I'm watering and I'm growing in my own family, in my relationships, and the people that I'm choosing to spend time with, rather than the ones that are going to choke me out, pull me down, right? Where the birds are going to come and eat them up and take them away. That doesn't usually produce good results. So I want to encourage you on this Sunday morning, and whether you are a man or woman of faith or not, is to go check out that Bible passage. Go check out that parable that Jesus talked about and how the seeds are put down and fertilizing the soil. And it's interesting, as Christians, here's the one thing I remember learning as a Christian man in the beginning. I was like, and I feel like I'm on fire for the Lord, and I love him so much, and I'm proud to be in fellowship with him, and I'm proud to say that I love Jesus. I don't know, maybe I'll get banned on here, but I'm proud to say that I love Jesus. He is my Lord and Savior. He is truly the thing that keeps me together. I don't know where I'd be at. In fact, I am sad for those who don't have a relationship like I do with the Lord. And it's not perfect. It's not necessarily amazing. But considering the alternative, it is a rich and abundant life when I can wake up and I can start my day with God. When I have the ability to say, God, thank you. It's raining out, but you gave me another day to live. And then to know that I can actually live my day with God And then not even if the day goes crappy, if I have not so good a day, if maybe my business didn't have a good day, or I got in an argument with my kids, or I got in an argument with my wife, or I really just messed up, or I didn't work out, or I feel lazy, or I feel tired, or I feel like all those things. Even through that with the day, I also know I can end my day with God. Like that's the rich and abundant life. And guess what? If he wakes me up the next day, I can potentially do that over again versus get pulled down by the world, get pulled down. And I'll tell you what, the enemy is trying hard. And I said this yesterday. He's going to have to try. He's going to have to bring his army. And you know what? His army is a whole lot less than my army because my army is from above and from above looking down. And here's the great thing. As long as I keep my eyes up, it's as long as I'm able to keep my focus up on him and his path for my life. Guess what? The enemy's got nothing. They can't, especially when the war has already been won. Now, maybe you feel like you're in a war. You're like, Mark, must be nice for you to live a rich and abundant life. That's not easy for me, Mark. You see, I lost my job the other thing is and don't get me wrong, this is to not make light of it. I feel bad. I've lost my job before too. I had to sell a gym and I was in debt up to my eyeballs. Like I've had problems and I have challenges and struggles right now. So don't think this is a highlight reel. But I will say is there's a lot of things that I was able to do and just shift and adjust and adapt or let the enemy just keep pulling me down. Like the enemy does not want you or me or anyone around you to live a rich and abundant life in the eyes of God. Doesn't want you to follow his plan. Why? Because that's not what he wants. He wants you. He wants your worship. He wants your lordship. You want to give that away? Go for it. Give it away. Let the world take you down. Let everybody's opinions take you out and down. Let what's happening in this world take you out. Let the news and the media and destruction and all the frustration that's going on, all the lockdowns, all the other stuff, all the anger and bitterness and the havoc that's been just wrecked in relationships with other people. Let that bring you down. The enemy's winning and doesn't have to work very hard. Or choose the other direction. You could actually choose today to live a rich and abundant life. It's your responsibility. Nobody's responsibility. Nobody has the responsibility for your life other than you. It's your responsibility to actually do what you need and what you can do if you want to live a rich and abundant life. And now I don't know how you might equate that, but I would tell you this is that if you feel like you're down in the dumps and you're stuck and you're struggling regarding whether it's your health or your faith or your family or your finances, right? Or even maybe with food, maybe you're like completely struggling and all your worship right now is with food. Your rich and abundant life is revolved around the food that you're eating. And then you're wondering why there's an extra 100 pounds around your body. Like that's something that, again, can be addressed. There's people like me in this world ready to help. There's people that have seen this with other people. What's so rich and abundant that I feel today in my life is that I got to wake up. Like simple as that, I got to wake up this morning. It's raining, it's crummy. My allergies are going bonkers because look at the junk. I mean, you can see it on my truck. Look at the junk that's that's from the trees up there. That stuff is going to want to take my allergies out. Like there's stuff, those little pollen things are all over the place. I'm thankful for the rain right now because it's going to get rid of this, wash it all away. Maybe what you need to do today is to wash all the filth, all the garbage, all the stress, all the junk, wash it. And that's just beautiful. When I came into knowing what this whole relationship with God is and this separation and how to get close to God comes through this pathway through Jesus, right? And when I learned that, when I realized that there's a rich and abundance when it comes to knowing God, not being separated, knowing God, through the Son, through him coming down as a son and through actually making a pathway for me to get close to him. When I discovered that, here's the cool thing. Nobody can take that away from me. The government can't take it away. People who disagree with me can't take it away. This world can't take it away from me. You can't even try to take it away from me. That's the beautiful thing. Money comes and goes. I'm not talking about the rich and abundant life that wealth brings. when you're dead, your money pretty much stays where it is. You're gone. Like you can make more money, you can lose more money. You can make, but when you get that rich and abundance, that feeling that, oh my goodness, I can live life on an amazing path and have a rich and abundance and all the other things and stuff. And I can actually have this relationship with God and knowing that no matter how good or bad it gets, He's there for me. The most reliable, most trustworthy, most loving, most caring, most forgiving person, is our Lord. Like, think about that for a minute. Like, that's what blows me away. That's why I think even when things happen, even when I remember last year when they shut the beaches down and they closed it off, and I know now friends are hurting. I have a friend, colleague of mine, actually he's my coach, and he's moving out of Canada because it's so bad. Like, he's literally moving his entire family away from his family, getting out of Canada because it's in such a bad spot. You want to see where potentially this world, and I say world, this country is headed? Go take a look at what's happening in Canada right now, and I know other areas. But I would say my point is not to get into that. My point is he's making moves for his family, right? He's making moves based on where he feels it's going to be best to protect his family and his health and his business and all those things. But he has that assurance that he said, God's going to lead my path. That's what it takes. So listen, it's Sunday. Maybe I've preached long enough. I don't know. God's been digging in me and He's been saying, Mark, I know you may not be, I don't want you to spew out your opinions and beliefs about whether you should do this with the vaccination, whether you should do this, whether you should, stir up the pot, so to speak. No, I'm just going to continue to come on here and encourage you. I'm going to continue to try to maybe provide a bit of a shock. We heard some thunder and lightning. Maybe you need a little lightning in your life right now. Maybe it's time to get a little shocked into making some good action steps for yourself. Because here's the problem. You can sit back and just let the world pass by, let your life pass by, let things go by you. And guess what? Time is running out for all of us. Time is running out. And here's the crazy thing is, for Christians, for men and women of faith, guess what? It's only just beginning. Time is only just beginning because there's a longer path. There's this eternal path. And that's the thing, that even if my days on here are cut short for whatever reason, and I hope they're not, and I hope yours aren't either, but if they are, I know where I'm going. Do you? I know where I'm going after this. There's this eternal destination. It's kind of like, this is the pregame. This is what's amazing about it. This is what doesn't make me get too stressed out about what other people think. Because they're not going to be around forever. I'm not going to be around forever, but I know where I'm going. That's the rich and abundant. If I can have that and draw that close to me right now, today, that's what's something that makes me not care about all the little stuff. That's what makes I feel my soil is so rich and abundant. And that's what I'll tell you what, if you want to have a side conversation with me, say, Mark, I want to know a little bit more about this. I don't care about your fitness stuff. Tell me more about this rich and abundant life that you have with your faith. I would be happy to share that with you. Just reach out to me, we'll have a conversation. We'll go get some coffee. If you live local, we'll jump on a Zoom call, we'll jump on a phone call. Sound good? Anyway, take care. God bless. I hope you're having a rich and abundant day today. I hope you're having a rich and abundant day tomorrow. I hope you have a rich and abundant life. Take care. God bless.